What's up, everyone, and welcome to D Spot. This is the spot for all things empowerment through yoga, meditation, and psychoeducation. My name is Dalia, and in this episode of the Self-Love series, we're going to talk about self-esteem. And we kind of touched upon self-esteem in previous videos, but I'm going to tackle it from a very different perspective today. You see, to me, self-esteem isn't just about feeling good about yourself or seeing yourself in a positive way. Self-esteem is about living a life that is true to who you are at your core. And that is the core of my empowerment coaching program. Because I believe that authentic self-esteem, it comes from living in alignment with your values, with your beliefs, with your aspirations. When a person can live authentically and congruently, being true to themselves, honoring their innermost desires and convictions, they experience a deeper sense of self-love, and the relationship with themselves improves because they truly start to see themselves in a positive light, and thus their self-esteem improves. Let's explore how authenticity can contribute to self-esteem, and I'm going to give you some tips to help you. Let's first try to understand authenticity, right? Authenticity refers to being genuine, to being sincere and true to oneself, and that means in thoughts and feelings and in actions. So authenticity involves embracing your strengths and celebrating your strengths. It also involves being cautious of your weaknesses, understanding your desires and why they are desires, knowing your values without pretense, without fear of judgment, without I need to subscribe to what other people expect me to believe. Authentic individuals are honest with themselves, and that honesty radiates with others. They live in accordance with their convictions, and they pursue goals that resonate with their innermost desires. And that authenticity is palpable. You can recognize it. You can tell immediately when someone is being authentic. And when you are living in that honesty and authentic, you're not acting, you're not thinking of how I need to be, you're embodying your truest self. How is that not going to increase your self-esteem? Now, the second thing that we spoke about self-awareness before, but I really want to talk about it again because authenticity really begins with the self-awareness, or your ability to recognize and understand your thoughts, your emotions, your motivations, your patterns, your triggers. So cultivating that self-awareness is important, and it involves introspection. It involves reflection, and mindfulness practices that you can weave into your daily life so you can shine that light on your innermost thoughts and feelings. Because when you gain insight into your true self, you can better identify your values, your passions, your aspirations. You set the foundation for living authentically. So when it comes to getting clear on our values and priorities, it's important to take the time to understand what truly matters to you and what brings meaning and purpose to your life. Because, take me, for example, I started my career in the corporate world. I worked in the communications industry for 12 plus years until I did the work and got clear and honest with myself about what is important to me. What do I want my life to be about? And I made choices that, I like left everything. I put myself through school all over again. I studied psychology. I did every healing modality under the sun and realized that my purpose is to help others. That's why I do these education videos. That's my purpose. And it improves my self-esteem because every time I do one of these videos and I know I'm living in alignment with what I've put on this earth to do, I like look in the mirror and I feel confident and I feel good about myself because I know my life is worthwhile because I am doing what I was put on this earth to do. And if you need help with clarifying your values and your strengths and your goals, do reach out to me or check out my empowerment coaching program. It's on my website, www.daliahalabi.com. Just a little shameless self-promotion there. As we were saying about authenticity, let's talk about honoring personal boundaries, right? So I talked a little bit about that in my previous video on self-respect, But on that note, authenticity also involves respecting your own boundaries and communicating them assertively and lovingly and diplomatically to other people. So, establishing your boundaries helps you protect your time, it helps you protect your energy, your emotional well being, who has access to you. It allows you to honor your needs, placing just as much importance on yourself as you do to other people. So, practicing saying no, practicing not acting out of obligation and actually acting and behaving from that place of authenticity is going to help your self-esteem immensely. And of course, embracing vulnerability. Authenticity requires vulnerability. It requires the willingness to show up, to be seen, and to be honest about who you are, about your imperfections, about your insecurities. Embracing vulnerability means acknowledging that it's perfectly normal to have fears and doubts and shame and guilt and struggles without having to add on top of that your own judgment. All right. So, having that, "Ugh, I'm a human being and I can have compassion for myself and for being a human being," and through that vulnerability, you can foster deeper connection with other people. Not only will you feel like a higher sense of self acceptance and self compassion, but you can deepen your bond with other people too. And finally, taking ownership of your story. Living authentically means taking radical responsibility, taking responsibility for the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the ugly, the setbacks, embracing all of these things as opportunities for growth, for being better, for introspecting, for moving forward in a healthier, more aligned way. So you need to recognize that life isn't something that's happening to you. Life is something that you are constantly co-creating. And so when you recognize that your experiences and your successes and your failures, they shape who you are. So how you manage those things are also going to be shaping your outlook on life and how other people perceive you and how you perceive yourself. So embrace your the fact that you're a creator. God, the word escaped me for a second there. See, I am embracing my imperfections. I don't need to pretend to come on here and be perfect. I'm gonna like stumble on my words sometimes, and that's okay. On that note, actually, I lied. One more last one, last tip, which is cultivating that courage and resilience because authentic living requires you to be courageous. You got to be brave enough to be yourself, to go after your dreams, no matter how big or unrealistic they seem. Right? And then resilience means like no matter how many times I fail, I'm going to embrace these challenges as opportunities for growth. I'm going to learn from my setbacks, develop this growth mindset that's going to help me bounce back stronger than ever before. So being brave to be who you are and being resilient enough to go after what you deserve. That's really important too. All right, that was it. Those are my tips on how wow, those were my tips on how you can improve your self-esteem by living a life of congruence. And if you look at my video on self-concept, we talk about self-esteem from Carl Rogers, the humanistic psychologist perspective, and what that means in more detail. So make sure that you check it out. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you like, share, subscribe. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you'd like to learn about. And yeah, thank you so much. See you next time.